Hi, this is going to be our last video before we head out to Moria, and we are going to be addressing some of the questions that you guys as a team have asked. Adrian's going to lead us through that.
Yeah, so the first one is kind of a two-part question. So how will I be there and not be able to do more than just my specific job? Kind of like, is what I'm doing enough? And the second part of that is, how do I combat a sense of feeling hopeless while I'm there doing the work I'm asked to do?
Wow, those are good questions. We'll be making a very small difference in the little things that we do. Standing at a gate for several hours, opening the door and letting people in and out. Feels like, well, anyone could do this, but you know what? They need someone to do it. And if it's me, that's okay. That's I think, the first part of the answer for me.
That's exactly it for me as well. These are human beings who need to have their basic needs met, and no one is expected to come in and be able to change this situation for them, but human beings who are willing to go there and help are needed in order for the needs to get met. And everyone deserves to have their basic needs met. So if all you've done in a day is open a gate, you're providing the security and the sense of personal space that the people you're serving need.
The other thing that you'll find astounding when you're there is, amidst your own struggles with hopelessness, you'll find people full of hope. And their situation is so dire and desperate, and yet the human soul is incredible. And the interesting conversations we'll have, in some of our debrief sessions will be, what do I do with this person who is so hopeful? And I just find things so utterly hopeless for them. We'll wrestle with stuff like that while we're there, and we'll wrestle with it together.
Okay, yeah, the next one is a team member expressed, I might feel guilty having experienced what we'll see in Moria and then coming back home, just having a home, having a lot of abundance. What do I do with that guilt? And then paired with that, feeling the guilt, how do I keep myself emotionally together, still able to do the work I'm asked to do while we're in Moria?
When I was there a year ago, a 14-year-old boy from Afghanistan stood by the gate with me and talked. We talked for hours, and he said, "You're so lucky, my friend." And I said, "What do you mean, Obos?" And he said, "Where you were born." And I thought about Kari and Caden and where they were born, and Obos and where he is now, where he was born and where he is now in this camp without his family. 14-year-old boy all on his own. And I dig deep and think about gratitude. And I dig deep and think about, can I do anything to make a small difference?
So when we were there a year and a half ago, I tried to prepare. I think that being prepared for some of the emotions that you are going to experience and having a plan for how to deal with them is very important. One of the things I tried to prepare for was that sense of guilt, and my plan to combat that was to just use logic. I do not have control over where I was born or where someone that I'm interacting with was born. And like my dad said, to be grateful for what we do have, and we're taking what we do have and we're using it to try and serve and to try and help people, and that's all that can be asked of you. What I did find was that it wasn't actually as much of a challenge as I thought it was going to be grateful instead of guilty, because it was just so very clear that the situation that you're born into, if you have the things that all of us have, we should be grateful. And I would come back to our hotel every night and shower and just be so overly grateful. I have a safe place to be. I enjoyed it more thoroughly than I think I otherwise even would have, because I was profoundly grateful for the things that I had in a new way. And that is, that's a powerful experience, and one that was unexpected for me.
Yeah, and piggybacking too on the last video, if any of you caught that on trauma, that survivor's guilt can be a piece of trauma. And I think it's really important to remember that we all have a story too, and our stories matter. Yeah, so I guess that's what I gotta say about that.
Yeah, and just to wrap us up, the last kind of question asked was, what do I do with this experience when I get home, knowing that it's going to be really hard and maybe uncomfortable, but also knowing that it's important. How would you guys speak into that of taking it home or being open while we're there?
I would say that it is entirely possible that you will get more out of this experience than you feel that you're giving, and that is okay. You are learning about yourself, you're learning about the world in a new way, and that is going to change you, and you are going to grow from this experience. And whether you come home and turn that into, I want to do something specific for Moria, that is great. Or if you come home and you say, you know, I just want to take what I learned and the ways that I grew and be open to whatever that brings me in the future. But knowing that you are a changed person who has grown from this experience, and that is going to impact the way you interact with the world in some way or another going forward.
I think the best thing we can do as we get ready for the experience we'll all be having is to cultivate a posture deep in our soul of, I want to learn, I want to grow, I'm open to whatever this is meant to teach me, or however God might use this in my life.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's an amazing amount of trauma and of struggle going on within the camp, and there is also an amazing amount of hope and resilience, and the strength of the human spirit is very apparent. And if you're open to meeting the people that we're serving where they are and learning from them, you're going to take a lot away from that. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. That is going to have an impact on the world if you can grow from this experience. So
thanks everybody. We're really looking forward to meeting some of us for the first time, and serving together as teams at both the camp and in the community center. So we'll see you in about a week and a half.
Bye-bye, everybody.